the application that you are using today and the first time that you have used that. And the reality is that there is no difference. Right? Product market fit is being figured out early days. Now, if you haven't figured out the product market fit, then probably the company will die and you'll never hear about that. But those that you heard about them, they figure out the product market fit rather early. And this period of time is where I invest most of my time in mentoring the CEO, in helping the team, in guiding them. The first year, that's probably meeting the CEO every week, maybe twice a week, usually in my kitchen. So I have my kitchen where everything happens. Right?
I love it.
And this is where we're starting to build things, and over time they need less and less and less of my time, right? And so my time is being freed up. I can start another one.
Got it.
And so this is my method, right?
I like it. It's very nice. It's called like a lesson. Tell me, if I'm in this room and I'm in business, then I'm not a startup, and I've already been going, and I'm either in prime or maybe I'm starting to age and decay. Like if I'm not a startup and I'm not an infant, but I'm somewhere else in their journey, what wisdom do you have for someone who's thinking, oh, but I can't start a new business. I've already got this business. What wisdom or coaching would you have for them?
So we spoke about making hard decisions and getting rid of the people that do not fit. This is critical. You will not believe how impactful it is. And this is something that, it's something that you can do throughout the organization. By the way, if you are not sure, if you have a large organization, then you can run a survey, very simple survey, with 2 questions. Right? And the questions are very simple. For each one of the employees, right? If we're going to start a new team, who would you like to have with you on that team, right? And these are the key performers. Now, it doesn't matter if they like this person to be on their team because this person is good and nice, or excellent and okay, or it doesn't matter what is the mix. The fact is that they want to work with this person. Now, the opposite question is, who don't you want to have on your team? And this person, you should fire. Because they do not create value to the organization. They actually create more damage than help. And this is critical. Now, the other aspect that we need to look at is, sometimes we expect the CEO to think about the next quarter and this coming year and so forth. But from time to time, we need to get out of this point of view and look into the future and look 5 or 10 years down the road. And start to ask ourselves how the market will be different in 10 years from now. Now, when you start to think about it, then the next question would be, if my business is still relevant in the 10 years from now market. Now, if it is, then keep on going, right? So improve and optimize and improve, optimize and improve the organization and the output, the organization and the output all the time. But if your answer to 10 years from now, whatever I'm doing right now is irrelevant, so let's just imagine that there will be autonomous vehicles, right? There will be, and maybe it will not take 10 years, but let's assume for a second that 10 years from now, there are autonomous vehicles, and instead of us driving our own cars, the cars will drive us, right? Because if you look at this industry, in the last 100 years, nothing changed, right? In reality, 100 years ago, the most sellable car was Ford, and it was black, and it was doing about 16 miles per gallon. And last year, it was Ford, and it was black, and it was doing about 17 miles per gallon. But the reality is that we drive cars the same way that our parents did, and the same way that our grandparents did. Nothing has changed. We go into the driver's seat, and we have steering wheels, and we have pedals, and we drive the cars ourselves. Once cars can drive by themselves, maybe we don't need to own a car. Maybe what we need to own is an app that we click on that, and the car shows up, and we tell the car, takes us wherever, and the car takes us there. And then we click on the app again, and the car disappears, right? Now, if this is the case, we are changing the business model, right? So instead of buying cars, we're going to buy a service per mile, per hour, per whatever, right? The total number of cars that will be sold will be dramatically lower than it is today. The total number of mileage that is going to be driven is going to be dramatically higher than it is today. If you're a car maker and you don't switch the business model, you will die.
Yeah.
If you have parking garage and you don't switch the business model or you don't get rid of that, you will die. If you're selling car insurance and you sell it per vehicle and not per mile, you will die.
Yeah.
So many disruptions. You know, you just imagine the next generation, they will not drive.
Yeah.
The generation after that, when we will tell them that we used to drive cars
And that we owned 3 cars.
they will not believe us when we will tell them that.
The garage won't be at the front of the house anymore.
Right. And now if you're in this business and you start to ask yourself, am I going to be relevant 10 years from now? The answer is no, you're not relevant.
Yeah.
And if you're not relevant, then you cannot keep on going in the same trajectory that you believe is going to happen, because someone else is going to become the market leader of the future, and you're not even ready for that.
Yeah.
The Tony Robbins Podcast is a collection of interviews and stories and is produced by the Tony Robbins team. Copyright Robbins Research International.